Call to the public. Anyone? Is Pete here? Is Pete here?
Yeah, Pete was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Community Development Monthly Report, Pete Preston. Well, maybe he'll pop in.
Doesn't he have a contract anymore? Or did we just approve that?
Was he going to be here, or were we supposed to call him?
I thought he was supposed to be here. Hey, Morgan, would you give Pete Preston a call on his cell phone?
Yeah, he's usually here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, let's go down to number 5. Ooh,
Which is also Peter.
also Pete.
It's all Pete except for item C.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the, I didn't get a hold of him.
Okay, skip down to item C there, item 5. I need a motion to award the CDGB grant funding.
Is that something that can be like this, Pete?
So
Or
moved.
do we have to do it this way?
Thank you. I'll second the motion, Dan. Discussion. Okay, now we're in discussion. Ryan, do you want to touch on all that?
So today was the end of the RFQ period. And so what we did was Chairman Root and myself met with the SEDP Director, Justin Horvath, to go over these today. And at this time, in order to make sure we have deadlines, we're asking to do 2 separate and unique things. One is to approve the Vernon site to Rowe Engineering, which the property owner would like. He has worked with them, etc.
That's Great Lakes Fusion.
That's Great Lakes Fusion. They have reviewed the proposals and they are ready to go with them. For the Duran site, I'm asking that you either empower Chairman Root or myself to make the final determination this month after we meet with the committee. That's going to be someone from Duran, probably the city manager, Bert DeClaire from the township, Justin Horvath from SEDP, and myself to go over them, because for one project, for the Vernon project, we received 7 applicants, but we received considerable more because it was a $100,000 project versus a $40,000 project for the Duran site. So these are much more intensive, and we'd like to go over those with the committee. But we don't want to wait until July to do the final award.
Any other points of
So
discussion?
the Vernon one, we know like what property is. So, and I remember we did this, like, accepted this, I believe, like last year at this time. For the Duran one, is it just the property that the chamber/city owns, or is it just, it's the whole area, proposed area?
It's the whole proposed 2,000-acre area, which the state has now deemed a super site.
Okay.
And so that was going to take a little more going through.
Right. So I'm all set.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Is Pete?
He did not answer.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we have Pete do that Wednesday then.
Is that what we want to table Pete's?
Yeah.
Reports until Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll make sure you do. I have just a quick question. Maybe somebody can tell me, didn't we just do a fee schedule change for something with Pete's office, or am I thinking of something else? Recently, you remember seeing that presentation?
Yeah, these have come before us a few times, and I think every time it's been him asking us, like, he's not the one telling us to change them, he just keeps having these discussions with them. We've never actually voted
Okay.
to accept or adopt, so he was kind of going to go over, and I think this just hit again before we went into COVID. So I had my old original one,
Yeah, that's right.
and there's no
I
difference.
thought we just had these numbers and things.
There's
on
no
them.
difference in what we are charging currently and what we're going to, so that was something he was gonna clarify for us too, to know kind of where we're at, where we're going. And again, it was just gonna be a motion to talk, or just a discussion and name a motion, unless we felt so moved, but I think we probably can wait on it, so.
Yeah, we also had approved the L4046 report. This is the final report, which is, there is not action required for this. So you just just take a look at it. Okay. Um, the community development monthly reports, yeah, there was an packet that was on, you could read those if you wanted to. Okay. A lot of times we ask them, how's enforcement going, or if there's been enforcement, or if somebody's really bad. Okay.
I will say, I do know that he's been relatively busy doing some enforcement things.
Yeah,
There was-
he just got back with me, he thought we were still doing once a month. He thought we were only gonna be meeting Thursday, so I
Okay,
said he will be here Wednesday if that's okay.
all right.
So did we, everyone, did we, proof of hiring an employee? Contract.
Proposed change.
Do you know if he's done that?
Doesn't include it.
Yes.
Where we're at now.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, yeah.
where we are now,
Okay.
so we're just gonna.
Yeah.
Clarify that.
is it going with the, okay.
All right.
Well, I just,
Okay, so we will table Pete's report until Wednesday, committee of the whole. Anything else, economic and physical development today?
Excuse me. So when you did a motion, was it just to accept the work grant funding? Was that it, or was it to have a discussion?
Yeah, we needed to, well, they awarded the one, I think, but I didn't know if you guys, I was gonna ask that too, if you guys finalized what you wanna do with the Duran site.
Oh,
The
okay,
Vernon site was awarded to Rowe per your motion,
yes,
but then did not wait until July,
but I thought our motion is for him and you.
and Brian will.
we thought we included all.
Yeah,
Okay.
right?
All right, well,
Yeah.
Unless
I'm just checking to see, I
that
just
was my
wanna make sure
understanding,
that
that was
was,
my understanding.
I just wanna make sure that was included so that we're not,
Don't have to come back to it.
yeah.
Yeah, we included it.
So it's to authorize Brian and Chairman Root to finalize the Durant award.
After meeting.
Yeah, it would probably be me, being that one of us is from Durand.
Well,
Which
it doesn't
would
matter
probably
to
be
me.
me. That's-
Yes. Okay, good. All right, anything else for Pete? No.
Sounds like yeah, we'll be here Wednesday.
Do we need any time? If not, we'll go right into finance. Shall we stand for the pledge?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, call to the public again. Anyone would like to speak? If not, I also, for informational at the end, I received today the audit report for our West County Road Commission, and I'll read their paragraph where they say good things or bad things, but it was all good things. So I'll add that at the end. Agenda items. Item A, I need a motion to approve the meal reimbursement policy as presented and set implementation to begin June 11th, 2020.
I would make that motion.
Motion by Cindy. Seconded, I'll second that motion. Discussion.
I guess I can go a little bit.
Yes.
So just
You
kind
want to give us
of,
a...
just kind of a, yeah,
overview?
update. As we remember, we had some issues with some of our travel policy and our reimbursements and meal chargings and stuff like that. So we just wanted to kind of brush up the language. The policy is the policy, there's no change to the policy, but what we wanted to do was we put out kind of an in-depth with examples to include, and then the schedule also of what, you know, and we're just basically saying now anything that gets, because there are a few departments that just get reimbursed. This now is going to require everyone to have a receipt for reimbursement. So if the day is 55 and you only spent 40, you know, your receipts will show 40, you'll get 40 back instead of just being expensed 55. So, you know, so we're, saves a few pennies here and there, a few dollars here and there, but it also keeps us under an accountable plan. And maybe Tracy where's Tracy go? Maybe Tracy wants to touch on that a little bit.
The difference between an accountable plan and a non-accountable plan?
Yes.
An accountable plan according to the IRS means that we get receipts from all of the employees and everyone that we reimburse. That way it's not included in their income and they're not subject to any tax on it. And then they are completely made whole because we do reimburse 100% up to our limits. So we're addressing up to the IRS limits. So like he said, if you go for lunch is $14 a day. If you spend $3, you ate at McDonald's, you get $3. If you decided to go for dinner and you wanted a steak at $150, we're only reimbursing you the max of $28, because that's what the IRS says we have to do. So that's the top of the line, at the top that we will give them is IRS per diem, otherwise it's actual expenses. A non-accountable plan, on the other hand, would be where we can either give them money ahead or just flat reimburse them. No receipts required, it becomes income because they can spend it on anything. A lot of companies, I know like NCUA for the federal government uses a per diem. And anything over and above what the minimum IRS is becomes part of their income. And we don't want that with our employees. We don't want anybody to have to pick up tax or pay tax because they got reimbursed or something. So if they give us receipts, it's accountable to us. We know exactly what they spent the money on. They get exactly what they spent back.
It also includes and reinforces that credit cards will not be used for meals.
Yes.
Don't we have a policy somewhere that says that we are to do exactly what we're proposing to do? Why haven't we been doing that for 20 years? So you're telling me people have gone in and maybe spent $5 on a meal, but charged us as the county the whole pot for it and made free to
Well, they haven't charged us because there's technically they're not doing anything wrong by that because
Right.
the policy tends to be vague and it just says you're allotted that.
Yeah.
So if somebody goes on travel, then they're allotted that automatically, you know.
But the IRS is going to constitute us as a, what do you call it,
And accountable versus not accountable, no. By saying we want receipts, we're sticking to an accountable plan. We've made it known we want it to be that way. And it's for the employee's benefit as well as ours, to keep it that way. And this just reinforces what, we want everybody doing the same thing. People kind of started to creep away from doing the same thing, so this just reinforces, hey, you know, come back in, this is what we want. If you got questions, call us, we'll be happy to help. And a part of our thing in our policy book says the department heads will make the ultimate decision. And maybe that's part of the problem. Every time you get a department head change, somebody reads it a little bit differently. And then, you know, they just get creep a little away from what we originally wanted. So.
Think of this as a guidance document as opposed to a real policy change, because the policy's already there. This is just providing strict guidance on.
But there is a policy change in that the county credit card can't be used for meals, correct?
I don't think it ever says.
Okay.
And I think that's one of those gray areas where it didn't specify.
I got a question.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, well, you said like $15 a meal and they turn in something for $20 because they can't get a separate, we only gave the 15, right?
Yes.
Well, even though sometimes you go there, it would go over their lot, you know what I mean, right?
Correct, and that's what we're trying to correct, is
Yeah,
that you
because,
won't
yeah,
have
it's hard to
paid.
turn in a bill, the exact amount, that's what I was getting. at.
yes, that's what we're going to do.
Right.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that in my mind.
That's okay. So, and it does actually follow our policy in our book where they get up to the per diem at the most, IRS per diem at the most, plus the I think it was 5% or 15%, maybe it was 15% for tips.
Yeah.
So if they were to happen to go to a place where they tip like at dinner, they could get their up to their $28, which is the IRS, their reimbursement portion, plus whatever was tip up to 15%. So, in a few cases, it could be a couple dollars more than what, you know, just the meal is. But that's because our policy does specify tips in addition to their actual stuff.
So just, you know, just as a comment, so actually when, if there's a convention and your dinners are included in it, you know, your fee.
Yes, there's
Yes.
no reimbursement for that.
Right, I mean, a dinner normally is more than $28.
Correct. It actually got better than it, it's part of your conference.
Yes. Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Okay,
And this has already gone out. Tracy sent this out, I believe, last week. So everybody has seen it.
okay, any other discussion on it? I'm sure there might be some discussion by some other people, but that might be later in the year. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Okay, a motion for the county clerk to replace the vacancy for a circuit court deputy clerk, not to exceed salary grade 3.
I will make a motion.
Support.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. I see that somebody's leaving.
Yes. She has an opportunity to work for the state into the foster care that supports her degree. So
Yeah. When is she leaving, or she already left?
she will be leaving on the 16th.
Okay.
Who is it?
Amy DeLong.
She's already said she's salary grade 3.
She
So that's the part.
Okay, any other discussion? Other than that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item C, approve the 2020 Shiawassee remonumentation adjusted budget as presented.
So moved.
Support.
There's a motion, support, discussion. Can you take a look at that? Remonumentation.
I think we should be going, I've been here for years and we've been doing that, so we should be getting caught up, but I'm not.
Jason, yeah.
Mr. Washer was in January. Basically what happened was his state agreement got changed just a little bit, so this is only to adjust our budget to match what his state grant agreement is. He's only supposed to spend exactly what's in his grant, so it's all reimbursement, including his wages. This just fixes where it had gotten a little bit different after approval.
Readjust and readjust.
Readjust, yes, because of course he's on the state grant, so it's October to September, and
So on and so forth.
so, yep.
We didn't get any, what percent he's done or how he's doing, because I know a few years ago he was, getting a lot of pretty good.
You know, Gary, I can't remember.
I don't remember how many corners. I do have a copy, I can pull a copy of the report for you that he submitted, because I have his final state one that tells how many corners they did and how many are left to do, and I can go print that for you.
It's not really, 100%, but I just.
Get a chance to look at it maybe Wednesday, you just put a little note.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll get it sent to you.
Because they've been doing it, I think it's been,
Ever since I've been here,
it's been 10 years,
more than that.
10 or 12. Yeah, so maybe it's a 20-year deal.
Oh, at least.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
Every
we don't
section,
really
every
Mark was
township,
here.
and it's a lot.
Yeah. Just to comment on that, Curry was, first plotted was, somebody made a mistake and everything was 10 foot off. But, since everything was 10 foot off, the person on the end is boxed out. Yeah. They were 10 foot. That was one of those first way back. Okay. We have a motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item D, authorize the county clerk to hire a part-time employee not to exceed 19 hours a week at a rate of $15 an hour.
I'll make the motion.
I'll support that. Discussion.
My discussion would be nice to hold off on this being that we just furloughed everybody a day, maybe look at it in August again. I do like though, however, that they're not part of MERS. That was our last discussion item when we talked about this last time. So other than the fact that we're going through furlough, and I don't know if we should have anybody on furlough people until August, that's of course only my opinion. But I do like that it is now no longer a member of MERS, which is what we were aiming for last time.
How did you clarify that?
So I
There's
Yeah. Ryan, go ahead.
So we looked at a couple of these, and it's just like one of the court security guards, and they're not members of MERS.
Okay, because if I remember from months ago, that was a real point of
They're not,
confusion.
this is a part-time position that's not part of any bargaining unit, they're a non-rep, whatever. We're gonna treat them just like we would one of the court security guards, and they're a non-MERS member.
It's probably the hours too. We're gonna have a little more hours.
19 hours.
Before.
That's what triggered the whole worst thing
Okay.
that Mike and I were going back and forth.
So maybe the number of hours now too.
It is 19.
That helps.
So it's under the threshold.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a
Yes.
question?
Sure.
I'm assuming that part of the logic for hiring this person now is to prepare for August primaries and other elections coming up. I mean, this person would directly be doing that, but certainly not helping our office. Is that true?
Yes.
So waiting till August would be a difficulty.
Well, next one.
Yes, go ahead.
Two reasons I brought it, because it was tabled, and we did our due diligence to find out about the MERS. And also because it doesn't have any tie to anything. And the only thing that saved us for getting the August ballot together, which I just got ordered, was that we were close to the public. And the amount of foot traffic we have exceeds, I've proven that in the past. Well, now, we are at 500, and I asked to the report before we left, we are at 537 CPLs that we have in our system right now. We have been fielding calls and working closely with the sheriff's department before we started processing new applications. And we've learned from one instructor since this 3-month, every single, they can still teach classes. They were able to still teach classes if they were being mindful with the guidelines. And all his classes have been filled, and we are anticipating even more of an influx. So it is something that I did talk with Dr. Boggs about. Is this attached to any kind of group? Because I, of course, would not want to hurt any of my staff with the whole furlough package and what's going on with that, and they aren't. So that would be my only thing as far as waiting. We've got tabled for March, and here the world flipped upside down. Here we are, and it does take time for training, and once we open full, we're going to be back to scurrying. So it would be nice because they will be training specifically on CPLs with this influx.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion that we table this today in light of furloughs and anticipated reduction in revenues. So I would make a motion that we table this.
Amendment.
Or not a motion.
Is that okay with the second? Okay, there's been an amendment to the motion to table this, this part-time employee for further review. Okay. Any other discussion?
Do we have until, an end date? Because in March, things,
Well, as a point of order, if no table date is given, then it just comes back up to the next month, the next regular meeting.
After August.
Was that part of the motion?
Yes.
to
August?
August meetings.
August. Hopefully we'll know a little bit more what the state stands on this one, but I'd just like to make a comment. Boy, I've been through this before when the state's gone to the fourth quarter and said, well, there'll be no fourth quarter payment this year. Or fourth quarter payment to the governing entities will be 50% less. So we're a little nervous about
That happened in my school district.
Yes.
In fact, we missed our whole last payment.
Can I make one comment about that?
Yes, yes.
The funding for this position strictly comes from CPL licenses. So the more licenses that we can process and pass through, the more funding we have to support the thing. It's not gonna, so even if we do hit a cut later, that's not gonna affect us. Because that person is strictly funded from CPL licenses. And that's the way they wanna keep it. So if the more licenses we can process, the more funding there is available there for that position.
So maybe we shouldn't hold it up then.
And the amount in our
That's,
line is at 152, that is an excessive
I would say
amount
there's
of
no
the,
discussion on a table motion, it goes right to vote. It's a superseding motion.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tracy, for that. We'll take a look at what we intend to process and how much that money will bring in, and we'll take a look at it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
have some numbers.
Yeah, that's good to know, because
And then if it's not nonsensical, maybe we can bring it back up next month.
like,
I also agree with the chairman at the expense of CV tone deaf, as we are going to be talking about layoffs, changes in coverage of health insurance and furloughs, the optics look bad, even though I understand completely where the verbiage is coming from.
All it's gonna
Trying
be
to
is
just
just save
save
one.
one.
I mean, all you're gonna be doing is saving one, just like Chairman Plummer did, or just said. We don't know what's coming in at the end of the year, we don't know what this has done to us. So even though CPLs are fine, and we can still sustain with CPL, so fine, this person's safe, but what's to say the other person in the office isn't safe because we have to go backwards? So I mean, I feel like all we're gonna do is shuffle chairs. If we really don't know what we're doing at the end of the year and where things are gonna lie, you know, to just start saying we're gonna bring it back up next month again, that doesn't mean we know what's going on in the next month, or we're gonna know at the end of the year. I mean, Commissioner Palmer was right, we don't know what's gonna come at the end of the year, we don't even know what we're gonna be forecasting for next year. My understanding would be, we're gonna see the staff we have on right now probably cut. Everybody that works right now probably see 1 or 2 less people in their office. That's what, you know, things are not good, and COVID did not help us any. So, delinquent property tax is up, high.
You got a number for that?
How do we know if it was like 4.5, 4.6 million?
4.6 million out of our 11 million that we had.
10, yeah,
I
10.
thought it was five, normal 4657. It's 57. Is it 57?
5.7 is what we had left after.
Is that
the
okay?
tax.
All right.
So that's,
So my motion stands?
Yes, yes. Any other discussion on the amended motion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We can bring, if we want to discuss this again, we'll bring it down for last year comment. Item E. Need a motion for the creation of committee for interviewing and hiring of a county clerk.
I make that motion.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. We've posted for the position, so we'll see what comes.
yeah, if I could, just a second. Yeah, my thought process in the whole thing is we've had it posted for 3 weeks. We'll give it another week or two. Form the committee. My thoughts on the committee are Commissioner Plowman and Commissioner Marks, just as the chair, vice chair, and the finance chair, meeting and discussing. As of right now, we only have 1 applicant. We'll leave it hang out there a little while. Now that we're back streaming on YouTube, maybe we'll see some people that see it, hear about it, and we'll apply, but everything's staying the same as we had previously, 32 hours. It's on the pay grade 13 scale, the same as the last. It'd be the same as what we're currently paying Dr. Boggs. So there is really, the salary is, it would just be going through a contract and working a contract, or holding the interviews, and if we have any. If we only end up with 1 candidate, then it'll make it easier. Then it'll just be negotiating a contract. But
Can you say who the person is or not yet?
the 1 applicant
Yeah.
is Dr. Boggs.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not the dog catcher.
Just make.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a secret or not.
No.
I should have asked him if he wanted to be named.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not.
he's the only one we received so far.
Which is,
Well, I think he's doing a great job.
Thank you.
okay.
Big time.
Is there any other discussion at this time? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item F, approve the proposal from Johnny Green, in the amount of not to exceed $15,230 for air conditioning repairs at District Court. And I know Tim is right there. Okay, Tim.
We were gonna replace 1 compressor.
Well, I need a motion. Motion by Brandon, seconded by Cindy.
So we were gonna replace 1 compressor last year, but we didn't do it, we were gonna do it this year. But in the process, or in the time frame, another one had mechanically failed on the other side of the thing. It had nothing to do with the one that went out. And so there's actually, each part of the system has 2 compressors. And now one is failed on each side. I think that the reason why this one failed possibly, we did find like a leak in the
bad and froze up also. I don't know exactly what happened to that compressor. I don't even know if they could even tell us what happened to the compressor. It didn't ground out, they didn't know that, because when they went to put it back on, he says, if we flip it on, it blows again, he said it just froze. And that's what they think happened, is that it froze up. But I guess that the Freon that's in them acts as a lubricant too, that keeps them moving.
How many air conditioners do we have for the Kodak?
Well, it's just the one big unit, but there's 4 compressors in there, so depending on how much air they need, like,
So we
you
got
might
2 of
only,
them working and
2 compressors are working right now, which is kind of giving them enough, but if we get like a really, really hot day, it's really gonna stress them. Yeah.
No, is it
It will stress them to compressors to work a lot harder.
Jim, do you know how old? I know we've repaired those.
And that's what he said. He said that he didn't think that any of them compressors that were in there were original. But he says it can't be that old because it's the 410A Freon that's in it, which is the newer Freon.
Yeah, but that's been up for 20 years, hasn't it?
Possible. And I'm guessing that it's probably 15 years old or so, or maybe even a little bit older.
But they work hard. I mean,
Well, yeah, they do. And, it's like anything else, they're mechanical and they do go.
Tim,
And so,
I saw a movie once, I think it was Armageddon, where the Russian took the wrench and just beat the spaceship.
You want me to give it a
Tried
try?
that yet, or?
I'd like to, but we might have some more repairs then.
This comes out of your repair budget?
Yes.
Yeah.
And to note, please, they are also including their time that they've already come here to service this in this call. And so we're not separating out anything as according to our policy, and you're getting the full amount, which is much more than it would be to approve individually. So,
Okay. Everything is included.
yes.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Tim. Thank you, Brian. Okay. Just a little bit, I won't do call public yet. I received, Morgan brought me, Brent Trees dropped this off for me today. And their audit, and they say, the auditor's opinion, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, the major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the Shiawassee County Road Commission as of December 31st, 2019, and the respective changes in financial position for the year then ended in accordance with the county principles generally accepted in the United States of America. And they're happy with the audit, the audit was fine. And I'll take this home and read it, and if I read it tonight, I'll bring it back. If anybody would like to read it or look at it, ask questions, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them.
I have a copy as well, if somebody wants it.
Okay, yep. I mean, the big item is that the chip seal road work this year is moving on very fast. Townships have really contributed this year to blacktopping. Last year it was gravel for gravel roads, this year it's blacktopping or chip sealing. And they plan on doing everything they had planned for this year. But next year's budget may be less because of less money coming in next year. The road commission had some savings, and they're anticipating they're going to have to use part of those savings this year to make sure they complete everything this year that they wanted to do. So, anyway, we'll have more reports on that later. Okay, any questions on that? If not,
I have a few comments, Ken.
yes.
I just wanted to touch on our audit. Our audit, obviously, we filed for a 30-day extension. Again, some of that COVID related. We won't be the only county looking for a 30-day extension, but then I get the road commission's audit today, so, I don't know how much of an excuse COVID is or not if the road commission managed to get theirs done, and I know, it's a large budget too, so, but it's just disappointing that ours is again we're going behind. We gotta go 30 days. Dr. Boggs has assured me it will not go past 30 days. So
No, we
he
will
is
we'll have some
working on that.
conversations if it does.
Yeah, he's working on that. And then I did want to touch on, because when we met with the SEDP today, that was the land bank issue that I wanted to touch on, just, and I know Julie's here. So, just like any progress, like what do you need from us or help from us that we can get that moving so that we don't
I'm
hold that?
sorry. We can take a look at it this week. We can meet and look at it. It's with this COVID thing,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
furloughs, and there's 2 people in the office, and there's, it's just been hard to, and it's a busy time. So I'd be happy to get together with you if you want,
Yeah, perfect.
and take a look at it together and see what the next step is.
Yeah, perfect. We just want to make sure we stay on. I know there's a project in Owasso that we want to, they're a little delayed. I think they're going to be a little delayed, so that buys us some time, but I think they still want to do this year, so if there's anything we can do to help, with that too, that'll be. So yeah, I'll get with you then and we can talk.
Yes, sounds good.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
One of those major projects was in the paper this week. In Owasso on Washington Street, And affordable housing, big thing right now, and I can't remember the number of units, 13?
14 or 14.
Yeah, 13 or 14 units. Moderately priced within the city limits of Owasso, and of course, they would like it for their tax base. So, okay, Brian, do you have anything else?
No, I think we covered
Okay.
everything for now.
Okay. Any other call to the public? Any other discussion for finance? Finance administration? If not, meeting adjourned.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Morgan.